Hi everyone. In this series, I'm going to be working on the modes in the key of C major for you. But instead of starting on the Ionian mode today, with this being the first lesson, I'm going to start on the Phrygian mode, which is built on the third note in the key of C. First of all, let's go over the key of C major. The C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. No sharps and flats. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the first mode in the key of C is C Ionian. The second mode in the key of C major begins on the D note, and it's called D Dorian. The third mode in the key of C major is called E Phrygian. It begins on E and ends on E, and it goes like this. The Phrygian mode sounds great over a major tonality, a major chord progression, for a lot of different reasons. At least it's one of my favorites. You just heard some examples of it. But to teach you how to learn the modes, I'm going to give you three different ideas. The first idea is this. When you're trying to hear how a mode works or sounds over something or goes with something or not with something, the easiest way to hear the mode is to start on the root note of the mode you're in. In other words, if I'm doing E Phrygian, I'm starting on E. Start your licks on E, and then also end your licks on the same note, E. And that way you really can hear the flavor of whatever it is you do. I think I played the wrong note in there a second ago. So anyway, I'm going to just do another couple examples playing E Phrygian, starting on E, ending on E, and then I'll talk about it a little bit more for you. Real short here. So anyway, that's how to go about hearing what the actual scale sounds like, or licks made out of that particular modal scale sound like against a chord progression or a chord or a tone center or whatever it is you're trying to play against or make up melodies in, or whatever the case may be. The tonality of this song is definitely C major. It's a C major chord progression that goes through a number of different chords in the key of C. And E minor is not the main tone of that chord progression. The main tone is your C major. that's the tonality that I'm playing over. But every mode in the key of C has to work over a song in the key of C major to some degree, whether you feel like a mode fits better or whether it's brighter or darker, or sometimes you might even think they don't work. But most times, because in theory they all came from the same parent, the major scale, it has to work. So that's rule number one. Start your lick on the root, end your lick on the root. It's not a rule, it's an idea. I should say idea number one. That's the first idea of my three. The second idea is play just the triad that makes up the chord of the mode you're in. So we're in E Phrygian, and the chord we're on is the 3 chord in the key of C, C, D minor, E minor. So the triad is literally just E, G, and B. So when I play for you now, I'm only going to play those 3 notes, E, G, B, anywhere I want on the neck, in any order I want, with any rhythms I want, however I can think of phrasing it to kind of make it go along with this song that you hear in the background. Here you go. Cheat it. I cheated again. That was only 3 notes except for the couple times I accidentally played another note. But that's just 3 notes, E, G, and B, over the whole chord progression, different rhythms, different ways of getting to them, using octaves, however you want to talk about it. To me, it's really a pretty sound, those 3 notes. The next step, or the next idea I have for you, is to use the 4 notes that make up the chord of the mode that you're in. So we are on an E minor chord. The 4-note chord on the 3 chord is E minor 7. So the notes in E minor 7 are E, G, B, and D. And now you get some really nice textures going on with that D note in there also, because the D note is the 9th of your C chord, of your 1 chord. So just to go over the mode against the chord real quick. The C chord has a C, an E, a G, and a B. The E minor chord has an E, a G, and a B, the last 4 notes of your C chord. An E minor 7 chord has an E, a G, a B, and a D, the 9th of your C chord. So when I play an E minor 7 arpeggio, if I played the root, I could have a C major 9. So let me use just the 4-note arpeggio for you over that whole chord progression so you can hear what it looks like. Again, personally, I think it sounds really beautiful. I'm playing E minor 7 arpeggio against an entire chord progression in the key of C major. We'll talk about what the chords are in the next lesson. So there are the 3 ideas. play the mode with licks starting on the root note, ending on the root note. Play the triad of the mode you're in, just the 3 notes, and try to make up your solo and your lines just using 3 notes. Then give yourself a little bit more room, and now play the 4 notes that make up the chord. In this case, it was the E, the G, the B, and the D. The last thing you're going to do is mix all this together, put it all in the same box, in the same song, and see how it makes you feel. And that's how you're really testing out what the mode is like against a chord or a tonality or a chord progression or an entire song. It doesn't matter. It can be a real big canvas you're painting on or a real finite one. So here's mixing them all up. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. The next lesson I do will be on C Ionian, the 1 chord in the key of C. This lesson was on E Phrygian, the 3 chord in the key of C. Here's the 3 ideas all mixed up for you. Have a good day.